Hi, I'm Will Greenwald, Senior Analyst at PCMag.com, and this is the Oculus Rift Development Kit. This device pretty much kickstarted the modern wave of VR headsets that we're seeing today. But this came out in 2012, and that was quite a long time ago. The world of VR headsets has changed a whole lot since then. Here are the 4 best VR headsets we've seen recently. Despite my qualms about tripping over cords, PC-tethered VR is still going strong, as seen in the excellent HTC Vive Pro 2. On one hand, it offers some of the highest resolution and cleanest visuals we've seen in a consumer-available VR headset. On the other hand, it's by far the priciest at $799 for only the headset, requiring a sizable extra spend for the base stations and controllers it needs to work. HTC offers different base stations and motion controllers that range in price from $134 to $199. However, for motion controllers, it also works with the Valve Index controllers, and they're excellent. So we'd recommend getting some HTC base stations and then picking up the Valve Index controllers to go with them. The Vive Pro 2 is the highest resolution VR headset we've seen, with a price to match. It's worth considering if you want the best VR experience available and don't mind mixing and matching components. At $999 for the full headset, controllers, and base stations, the Valve Index is an expensive PC-tethered VR system. The headset itself, while capable, doesn't do a whole lot to rise above the competition besides delivering a smooth 120Hz refresh rate. The controllers, however, wowed us with their individual finger tracking and much more natural, immersive feel than other VR controllers we tested. They're the real stars of the show, and the reason the Valve Index earns our Editor's Choice Award for tethered VR headsets. Though if you already have a Vive headset with base stations, you can add the controllers for $279 and save a ton of money. The Valve Index is the most impressive consumer VR headset we've seen yet, entirely due to its revolutionary finger tracking controllers. The Sony PlayStation VR headset brings powerful, compelling virtual reality with motion control support to the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. You need an adapter for the PlayStation 5. It offers a great balance of price, power, and features, but it's showing its age, and its Move motion controllers are a solid decade plus old. If you have a PS4, it's a fun way to enjoy VR. If you have a PlayStation 5 or plan to get one, though, hold off until PlayStation VR 2 comes out. Sony recently announced it, and it looks like it's going to be a huge leap up from the aging PlayStation VR, and it has its own new controllers. The original Oculus Quest was a VR breath of fresh air with its 6 degrees of freedom head and controller tracking, strong performance, and most importantly, standalone functionality. The Quest 2 is an upgrade in every way with a lighter design, a sharper display, and a faster processor, all at a more affordable price than the original. For $300 is the best all-in-one package for using VR, and there are optional accessories for PC tethering or to double the battery life of the headset. That makes it the best VR headset at this price by far and our editor's choice. Because it uses a mobile processor, the Quest 2 can't offer as advanced graphics as you'd get from the Vive Pro 2 or the Valve or anything you can connect to your PC. At least not unless you tether it to your PC and use it wired. That's because there simply isn't enough processing power in the headset itself. The big benefit is that you don't have wires to trip over, and that's a pretty big boon. Whether you want the most visual realism or the most convenience, you have your choice in the Quest 2, and that's why it gets our editor's choice. Those are the 4 best VR headsets we've recently tested. This is where the current trend of VR headsets got the ball rolling a decade ago, and we're going to see what the future of virtual reality holds in the coming years. Until then, I'm Will Greenwald, and this is PCMag.com.